accomplish the tasks which you have taken in your personal and the professional life. So everything that has to be done has to be completed. So you have to set the priority to complete it. Another thing is that which the tasks which are important and the urgent has to be taken in the priority as compared to the other tasks. So you have to set the priority of your tasks for the important and the urgent tasks. And third is that you have to save the time, energy, and the money, which could only be done through prioritization. And you need to set the priority for all your tasks. That what is important and how much time you can save, and how much energy and how much money you can save by setting up your priorities. So before going to the prioritization processes, first of all, you have to do some background work. That is, that you have to done the preliminary preparations, which has to be most appropriate and in a democratic selection of the priority. So it should be that you have to do the community assessment. That you have to do the community health assessment for the priority areas which you are going to be involved in your priority list. So you need to know their numerical values, their prevalence data, some sort of data of the community, on the basis of which you will be choosing some of the topics that you have to prioritize. Then is the agency self-assessment. There are some self-assessment tools which are equivalent to the national recognized standards. So which are according to that. These are being developed for specific diseases or specific programs, according to which they are being self-assessed by the agencies who are doing the prioritization process. So the agency who is doing the prioritization process will self-assess these topics, and on the basis of the national recognized standards, and then they go into the prioritization process. Another is the clarify the objectives and the processes. So it is also important that there should be a clear-cut understanding of the prioritization process by the team or the agency who is doing the prioritization process. So objectives and should be clear, and how the prioritization process will be done. All the participants who are doing it should also know, should be also be familiar with the prioritization process. Then is the establish the criteria. For doing the prioritization process, you need to set some criteria on the basis of which you will be prioritizing your topics. So it will help in decreasing the selection bias, as there are some topics which are being chosen by some of the government agencies, and which are preferred which are being preferred to do the any national or the state level program. But other than this, there are other topics which needs to have, which are more urgent and more important. So there should not be any selection bias. So there should be some established criteria on the basis of which it should be done. So commonly used prioritization criteria which are there, they are on the basis of the two settings. First is that the criteria to identify the priority problem, and another is the criteria to identify the intervention for that problem. So what are that criteria which identify the priority problems? These are, first is the cost and or return on the investment that you are doing on any program, any availability of the solutions to that program, what is the impact of problem, that how much is the prevalence of that disease in that community, is it very high, so that we can choose it to identify in the priority problem. Another is the availability of the resources, that is there any sufficient staff, time, money, equipment available there to solve that problem. And further is that how much urgency is there in solving that problem, that one of them we are facing right now is the COVID-19 pandemic. So the focus of the government is right now, the priority is that of the COVID-19 vaccination and its control. So that is how we have to identify the priority problem. Another is the criteria to identify the intervention for that problem. It is based on the criteria that how much expertise it is to implement that solution. That is the those who are doing the intervention, have the particularly expertise in that field to implement the solution for that problem. And is there any good return for the investment that we are doing for solving that problem? And how much effective is the solution there? And how much is the ease of implementation of that program? Is there any problem in implementation there? So it will not be in the priority list. And then is the potential negative consequences, any adverse effects of that? How much is the adverse effects of that intervention? What is the feasibility of that intervention? Whether there are any legal consideration in the implementation of that program, or any impact on the system or health. So these are the criteria which needs to be identified for the intervention for the problem. So coming to the main topic, that is the prioritization in the practice. So there are the 5 prioritization methods which exist, and these are not right. We are cannot say that these are very right or very wrong methods of prioritization exists. So people are using these of the prioritization processes in solving their problems. First is the multi-voting technique. Second is the strategy grids. Third is nominal group technique. Fourth is the hand-on method. Fifth is prioritization matrix. So we will discuss each of them one by one. First is the multi-voting technique. This is a technique that is being used to prioritize the long list of the health problems or the issues that has to be narrowed down to a top few. So it is done according to different steps. In the first round, we have each of the participants vote for their highest priority items. There are certain number of the health problems which are there, which has been taken in account from the different agencies, and on these problems there is the voting of the each participant is being done, which is based on their priority. Then this round 1 voting is being updated, and the vote is being counted equivalent to the half number of the participants voting remain. If there are the 20 participants in the voting list and they are voting for 10 health problems, and out of the 10 health problems, those will go into the next round, which will receive more than 50% of the votes. So in the round 2, the health problem which exists will certainly will narrow down by another voting pattern with the similar in the round 1 vote, and equivalent to the half number of the health problems will remain. So we can take an example. A department wanted to prioritize one health problem to address with funds from a small grant. So they have taken a list of 12 health problems, and which they identified through the standards and the measures which has been taken by the national standard boards, and on which they scored very poorly on the self-assessment tools. And the director who is convening this prioritization of the management team implemented the multi-voting method to select the priority area. So they found they did the 3 rounds of voting: round 1, round 2, and the round 3 voting. in which the red color, it is the round, the red has been eliminated in the first round, then blue is second, and the green is in the third round. So we can see here in the 3-round vote, only the that evaluate the public health processes program and the intervention is remain, which has the maximum number of the vote, which is a maximum in the priority list. So this occurs by the multi-voting system, when all the participants who are voting in the three rounds. Second is the strategy grid. It is another method where the agencies are refocusing by shifting the emphasis towards addressing problems that will yield the greatest results. So in this, there is the selection criteria is based on the competitive activities, projects, or the programs which will be evaluated on the basis of their importance or urgencies, their cost or impact, need or feasibility. So any criteria you can take out of the 3. So we are taking the need and feasibility, and we want to prioritize our research questions. So according to this, we create a grid which is having the 4 quadrants and assign the one broad criteria to the each axis, in the y-axis and in the x-axis, and it is being graded according to the low to the high. So we have taken here need and the feasibility. So we are having the high need, high feasibility, the 4 quadrants, high need, low impact, low need, high feasibility, and low need, low feasibility. So we can see that how the projects or the programs are being prioritized according to these 4 quadrants. So here we can see the example here. This is the strategy grid that we have built, where in the x-axis it is the need, and in the y-axis it is the feasibility. So it is having the low need, high feasibility, high need, high feasibility, low need, low feasibility, and the high need, low feasibility. And there are the 4 examples there. You can see here. So just I would like to ask from the participants that when you are selecting for the program, for any program, which of the quadrants you will select for in the priority list, according to the priority list, in the highest and the lowest levels. So can anybody say that? In the first quadrant, it is low need, high feasibility, where the example is that the 16 parenting classes in a primarily aging community with a low teen pregnancy rate. So there are 16 parenting classes where the pregnancy rate is very low. So it has been assigned with the low need, high feasibility. Feasibility is very high, but need is very less. In the second, it is the high need, high feasibility, where the high blood pressure screening program in a community is there with rapidly increasing rates of stroke. So there is a high need of assessing this high blood pressure screening, and the feasibility is also in the community is also there, very high. So it comes in the high need, high feasibility. So it is higher in the priority list. Then is the low need, low feasibility. So investing in the health education material in Spanish in a community with less than 1% non-English speaking population. So there are the less than 1% non-English speaking population is there, and health education has to be addressed in the Spanish. So need is very less and feasibility is also very low. And the fourth is the high need, low feasibility, access to dental care in a community with a large uninsured population. So population is not insured, but dental care needs to be taken with the high need, but feasibility is very less. So out of the 4, we will what we will be taking. So we have the so high need, high feasibility is the answer with the high priority that we have to take for in the priority list. Then we have third, this prioritization process, that is the nominal group technique, that is the NGT. This method is useful in the early phases of the prioritization when there exists a need to generate a lot of ideas in a short amount of time, and when input from multiple individuals must be taken into consideration. So it is something that you need to have, your time is very less and you need to have more of the ideas and more of the research questions. So in that time, you can use this technique. In this, there is a brainstorming, ideas are being taken, and create a broad list of the possibilities or the research questions, and then the multi-voting technique is followed out to narrow down the list to pinpoint the top priorities. One of the greatest advantage of this technique is that it is in a democratic process, that all the participants have the equal chances of giving their opinion. So it doesn't mean that one is there in the higher position and one is there in the lower position. So in the higher position will give the higher priority, or the lower will give the lower priority. So everyone has the similar chance of giving the priority. So there are the different steps in doing this NGT. First is that you have to establish a group structure in which there could be the 6 to 20 people to participate, and there is one moderator to take the lead in implementing the process. The moderator will clarify the objective and the process of this prioritization, and then the moderator will state the object of the brainstorming and instruct the group to silently generate the ideas, and they will list them on a sheet of paper. This will generate a list of the ideas, and this will be flipped on the chart for the group to view each of the idea by the moderator. And this process should be repeated until all ideas and recommendations are listed. After that, this will be simplified and clarified by the moderator, which reads them loudly in sequence, and the group participants will respond with their feedback on each of the idea, and then will condense it to the very specific items. Then the participants will also provide clarification for any items that they find unclear. Then there will be the group discussion, which will be facilitated by the moderator, and each of the listed items will be determined by the team prior to the NGT process. Then it will be anonymous ranking will be given by all the participants, which will be from 1 to 10, and which can be altered based on the needs of their agency. And the moderator then collects, tallies, and calculates the total scores. And he could repeat the same process if there are most of the ideas and it has to be narrowed down much more. So here we can see that they are the priority health indicators. Some of they are the 5 priority health indicators for which the participants they have voted, and they have given their first choice, second choice, and the third choice, which they have given. The first choice had the score 3, second choice has 2 score, and third choice has the 1 score. And then this for the first one, they have the 4 of the participants they have given the first choice, 6 have given the second, and third they have for the third 6 have given. So the total score will be 30, because 6 is multiplied by 1 and 6 these has been multiplied by the scores, and then the total score is generated as the 30. So which will the priority health indicator which is having the highest score will be in the top, and then we can assign the priority list. Then we come to the Hanlon method, which was developed by the J.J. Hanlon, and this method is taken into consideration the explicit defined criteria and the feasibility factors. And it is one of the best method of the 5 methods, because it has some criteria that is being defined, previously being defined, and the feasibility factors are also there. So we can see what are these defined factors. These are on the basis of the size of the health problems, the magnitude of the health problem, and effectiveness of the potential interventions. As you can see, these baseline data, these are all already there in our reports, in their published articles, in the surveys. So we have some community this health data previously available. On the basis of that, we can generate the priority list. So we can see here the rating is being given according to these health, these criteria, that is size of the health problem, seriousness of the health problem, and effectiveness of the intervention. So these are being rated from 0 to 10. Here we can see that this sexual transmitted disease, it is being rated 9 to 10 because it has the size of the health problem is more than 25%. And the meningitis is given the rating 0 because its health problem size, it is less than 0.01%. And when we grade it to the according to the seriousness of the health problem, when the problem is very serious, such as the HIV or the AIDS, so it is being rated 9 or 10. And when it is not serious, such as the acne, so it is not serious. And according to the effectiveness of the intervention, we can, any vaccination program such as our COVID-19 vaccine program, it is 80 to 100% effective. And so it is having a higher rating. And access to care, which is less than 5%, that is in the lowest rating. So it also depends upon the other criteria, that effectiveness, assessing the effectiveness of the interventions according to the CDC criteria, you can see. Then seriousness of the health problem is being tackled by what is the impact on the quality of life. Is there a high hospitalization rate also there? So these are the criteria you can use for prioritizing according to the hand-on methods. So another step in this hand-on method is then you apply the Pearl test. What is the Pearl test? It is the propriety, economics, acceptability, resources, and the legality. Propriety is the this appropriateness. Is the program for the health problem any appropriate or not? First, you have to see that you are taking for the priority. Then, if you are doing economic evaluation or any education, then does it make any economic sense to address the problem? Are there any economic consequences if a problem is not carried out? So that you have to make sure. Then is the acceptability. Will a community accept the program? Is it wanted in the community? Whether any polio program or any of the vaccine program you are implementing, is it acceptable to the community or not? So you have to see. Then is the resources. Either the funding is available for that program or not. Then legality. Is there any legal issue in implementing the program or not? So these 5 is Pearl you have to take into consideration while having a priority list. Then you calculate the priority score. That is the D here, where we have the formula D is equal to A plus 2 into B into C. A is the size of the health problem, that is we have seen in the previous slide. Then B is the seriousness of the health problem ranking. That is the 2 times of the we have taken the 2 times its weight, and because it is most important. And C is the effectiveness of intervention ranking. So these are being scored according to this formula. Then we rank the health problems according to the which is the highest priority score. It will be ranked as 1, and the next highest priority score receive the rank of 2, and so on. here we can see we have the three health problems: cancer, cerebrovascular disease, and the heart disease. So this has been prioritized on the basis of the size, seriousness, and the effectiveness of the intervention, and we have calculated the scores according to the formula. So in this, we have the heart disease as the first rank, and cerebrovascular disease second, and the cancer as the third rank. Fourth method of prioritization is the prioritization matrix, which is being most commonly used tool and for prioritization, and it is ideal when the health problems are considered against a large number of criteria, or when an agency is restricted to focusing on only one priority health issue. So this matrix is being created by different steps. First is you have to list all the health issues vertically down the y-axis of the matrix and all the criteria horizontally across the x-axis of the matrix, so that each row is represented by the health issue and each column is represented by a criteria of prioritizing. So include an additional column for the priority score. So these are rated against the specific criteria, that is first 1, 2, and the 3. That is, first is the criteria not met, second is criteria is met, and third is the criteria is met well. Then is the you then weight the criteria, which is if each of the criteria is being weighted on different levels of importance. Account for the variation by assigning weights to each criteria. For example, if criteria 1 is twice as important as criteria 2 and criteria 3, then the weight of the criteria 1 would be 0.5 and the weight of the criteria 2 and 3 would be 0.25, half of that. Then we multiply the rating established in step 2 with the weight of the criteria in each of the cells. I will show you in the next slide how it is being calculated. Then is the calculating the priority scores. Once the cells of the matrix have been filled, then calculate the final priority score for each health problem by adding the scores across the row. Then we assign the ranks to the health problem with the highest priority score receiving a rank of 1. So this is a step-by-step instructions where we have the three criteria which are being calculated according to their rating and the weight, as we have discussed in the previous slide. They are the three health problems, A, B, and the C. So for according to the first criteria, we have the weight of 0.5 and the rating is second. So, and for the second criteria, for the health problem A, the rating is 1 and the weight is 0.25. And for the third criteria, the rating is 3 and the weight is 0.25. Then we have calculated it and then we have added it, it comes out to be 2. So similarly, we have calculated for health problem B and the C. So the priority score is for the 1 is for the health problem C. So these were all the criteria that we have discussed for prioritization and which are being used and which you can choose according to your usage. So we can now take the questions from the participants.
Thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful lecture. So now the session is open for any query.
First of all, let me compliment Anil for making this very complex topic simple.